Ladies,
I'm back. Let's get to it, man. Yeah. I was driving here during the first segment. I'm sorry. The Sloppy Joes took longer than I expected, and I had to make that drive.
it happens.
So he's going to talk about it, and because I wasn't here to see it, I cannot defend my boy.
It happens sometimes. Daniel Bryan comes out, and he gets in the middle of the ring, and he said he's excited to have the belt. Everyone's going crazy chanting for him. Everyone's going crazy. Everyone's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he gets in the ring, and he's like, you guys are great. I just have one thing to say that will describe it better than anything I can say. Yeah, and he starts doing yes chants again. That was quickly ended. Literally 30 seconds in by the game. Bow down to Thy Kingdom Come in stores next Tuesday.
Midnight release, he'll be there.
Absolutely.
He's burying my
As should you. Everyone should go get Thy Kingdom Come. Schlegel has been calling him God for so long, and this is just the verification. So basically he brings out Scott Armstrong. He says, listen here, Scott Armstrong, you messed up last night. You counted fast. And he literally says, let's watch your normal cadence. And we watched that 2 times. Then we watched the fast version 2 times. Then we watched them side by side because we needed that. And so he brings out, or he doesn't bring out, Dan Bryan's already there. So Dan Bryan just watched it, and Scott Armstrong's like, yeah, it was a fast count. There's no reason. I just made a mistake. And then all of a sudden, as Triple H is like grilling him more, he goes, they caught us, Daniel. And Triple H's like, whoa, did you just say they caught us, Daniel? Daniel Bryan, you were a part of this? And it turns into the thing of like, oh,
I was here for this point. Right?
Oh my gosh, you this is all your fault. Daniel Bryan's like, what the hell are you talking? I didn't do shit.
It's a conspiracy.
And he's like, this is it. I'm stripping you of the title. And he's like, give me the title. And he's just like, no.
Conspiracy, man.
Randy Orton comes out. He was heated. He comes in. He's like, hey, whoa. Triple H is like, I got this. Give me the belt, Daniel. I'm going to take it from you. And he says no, and he keeps saying no, and the crowd is chanting no, and he says no. So finally, Triple H grabs it. As he's grabbing it, turns around, whop, RKO, onto the ground. Orton hits an RKO. Triple H takes the belt, and then Triple H just leaves, goes to the back with the belt as Randy Orton just stands over him just saying, I am oily, yes I am.
Man, my boy can never prosper. I hate him. Getting buried.
He's the man. Randy Orton is the man. But he wasn't the man in this next segment because it was Triple H and Stephanie backstage, and Orton comes storming like, bitches, where's my title? And Triple H says, Randy, you can't just have the title. And Randy Orton's like, what has the whole last month been built on? Yes, I can. And Triple H says, no, you deserve to lose. Well, I guess one of them said, you deserve to lose last night. And they go and they're like, what happened to the Orton that handcuffed me to the ring and then DDT'd Stephanie? I said, oh, good point. And they just, start listing off some of these things he's done in the past. They're like, once you become that guy again, then we will give you the title back. But until then, if that can't happen, might have to find a new guy. And you see Randy Orton just go, like a snake, because he's the viper. Get it? He's a snake. And then we get this. I understand. I mean, this match is different because this match actually ended up being good. But
yeah,
what's best for business in my mind is you take a pay-per-view as high quality of Night of Champions. 10.5 out of 10.
Bought the show.
Obviously, you're going to say, let's run out as many matches from last night as we can. Because it was last night was just bangers. Like, you guys agree. I've watched your reviews and read your comments. You loved it.
Check my Twitter if I love that shit.
It was just bangers. We all loved it. Everyone loved it.
It was like when Harry met Sally for the first time.
And Sally was like, you're Harry. And Harry's like, I feel like I should have met you before. But we all knew it was going to happen.
Harry's like, that makes you beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And then Niall's just there.
Wait, who's the cool guy?
Zayn. He's a bad boy. But yeah, so basically it was like, we all know we all loved the show. We're all a part of this big interweb. And we know.
Yeah.
But this match actually ended up being entertaining and good. Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. Not for the title. They did cool stuff. They took the good from the match that was last night and did that again, so it was cool. Added some new stuff in there.
I thought we don't like retreads though. Well, what's the official?
Well, I wasn't excited for this last night.
What's the official opinion on retreads? Like when stuff happens over and over again, do we not like that stuff?
I don't know. I didn't like. I wasn't.
I'm unsure what you guys want.
I like both these guys. I wasn't excited for it last night, so when I heard about it today, I wouldn't exactly say I was thrilled. It ended up being okay.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler gets the win with a zigzag, which basically means that Dolph Ziggler will get a chance at the U.S. title sometime soon.
What's that pay-per-view in 3 weeks, right?
Oh yeah, Battleground. Other than that, it was just what it was.
It's what it is.
It's just what happens.
It's what it is.
Then we got the Big Show backstage, and he wasn't crying yet. Put your pants back on. You'll get it later.
He got an early release of Nothing Was the Same by Drake.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's been so emotional recently.
I'm coming home.
He was Drake's last new friend because he was a big friend.
He was a very big friend.
No small friend.
No small friend. Only like the Big Show.
No.
But basically what this was is Brad Maddox talking to the Big Show. Triple H and Stephanie there. It's basically like, you're broke still because you were broke on Friday, which means you're broke still. And everyone's like, yeah, that's right. And then
yeah, rich overnight.
Stu, finally rich. He's like Chief Keef. But yeah,
that's when you got a show. It's 300.
Oh, absolutely. So
300.
Yeah, so basically, and which makes sense. That's why he wasn't on the pay-per-view last night. They couldn't give him that payout. They ain't trying to give him that money. It all makes sense, guys. Think about it. So then Stephanie's like, look, so you're just gonna sit back here and do nothing, and unless I need you, then you can come out. But other than that, just sit here. He's like, oh, okay. And I said, you bitch. I hate him. And then we got bang bang.
Wait, hold on. Today's month. This is a month that when you write it out, it's numerically an odd month. So, do we like Brad Maddox during odd months or even months?
I like Brad Maddox all the time.
I'm talking as we, as in the people watching.
I will never be we. Never we. I walk alone. See, Randy, it's not that fucking hard. Look, I'm doing the pose. I'm holding the title.
He's in the Breakfast Club, guys. He's not walking alone.
It's not that hard, guys.
Wait, are you officially in the Breakfast Club?
It's not called the Breakfast Club. It's called the Supper Club, and you're goddamn right. Go watch Chase Oliver and Slug Daddy and Marvelous Market doing shit. Otherwise, don't watch this fucking video. Don't even look at the side of the screen if you have to. But you can be in Mr. Rout's club if you want. He's starting one called the Breakfast for Dinner Club, and you could be a really good Daniel Bryan in that group.
I'd be a B+ at best.
Guys, I know you think I'm kidding. I know I'm funny.
You don't like.
I know I'm funny, but it's a real thing. Go to his channel.
You don't like that group of classes that no matter how hard they try, is just bad. Walk up there for the presentation. So they have the presentation, right?
Yeah. Always.
And they show up. And they try to color coordinate, but it's all different shades of blue, so it looks tacky.
That's that.
And one guy's wearing jeans with a dress shirt, and then they stumble through it into have stage fright, and they can't even.
They just don't even talk.
And the one was reading like this, and not looking up. And then there's that one guy who just gets it and realizes he gets it, and then realizes that he's not going to get higher than a C+, so he's coasting. That was me in college. That'd be in this group.
That is the Brenner Club, guys. Join if you must.
The Brenner Club. It's like that group in class.
I'll just stay in the group I'm in. You guys.
If you guys are homeschooled, go join a public school just for the
and
group.
You'll understand. You'll understand where we're coming from.
Can there be the girl who thinks she knows a lot more in that group too?
I'm sure there'll be a girl in that group.
The one who tries to get you guys to meet every single Tuesday and Thursday at 8:45.
And I'm sure
in the
she's going to
library.
be super hot too.
Every time. No, in real life.
It's always the super hot chick.
Yeah.
And she always gets put with that group. Because it's like, oh, I don't have to do anything in this group because they're all going to do stuff. And then when you meet them up, you're like, oh, these are those nerds that don't care about school.
They're the ones who talk about talking about school.
Yeah,
there's people who talk about it like, oh man, I got to do my homework.
But then there's people that are actually doing their homework.
Yeah, and there's people who talk about talking about their homework. Oh man, I got to go to the library at 8:45 to get my homework in.
And then once 8:45 rolls around, it's like, shit though, I like different stuff.
Exactly, and you know what? There's people on the roster who are. So we're relating this back to wrestling. There's people on the roster who are like the lazy guy coasting through.
Mm-hmm.
I might be Zack Ryder at this point.
No, it's based on, it's like the Supper Club. Like in Supper Club, we're based on the Breakfast Club, which is Triple H, Randy Orton, John Cena, Sheamus, sometimes and Brad Maddox.
Uh-huh.
The Brenner Club is as he described it, it's the group of guys that are just good, but they just never go to that next level. So like guys like a Dolph Ziggler, a Daniel Bryan, a Kofi Kingston. That's the Brenner Club.
Then that's not the group I was thinking of in school.
But it's still a great thing to be compared to because that was really funny. So there you have it, folks.
You know what? That group right there is more like the popular group in high school. They're good at stuff, but really they're not.
That's what he's trying to build.
You think, oh man, hey, it's like that guy on the basketball team. Oh man, you know what? He's D1 right there, man. He's D1.
Well, top 5 parts is the fact. Now I don't want to bring up old shit, Mr. Out, but you did make a video trying to get into the supper club, but you got denied by a guy that you were best friends with to then have to start your own club. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You did try to get into this one.
This is a plot to a movie where the underdogs end up going over at the end. In the movie.
We have Schlegel. We win.
You know what? Maybe I go to the Brenner Club and be their version of
CM Punk.
Yeah.
Trying to fight the power. There you go.
The guy. I'll be in there only because I just wasn't. I'll be like that guy who wasn't present the first day of school, so he doesn't get into like the main groups, and then kind of gets put into like the group that's not doing too well, and then says, "Well, I'm really talented at stuff.
Let me try to
save it.
You can try to bring them. Hey, you might have something here, Mr. Rout. You might have something here."
But also that guy who, in that group I was talking about before, was the guy who sat there, realized they're going to get a C no matter what they did, and just coasted. And made sure nothing fell apart. That was me.
It all comes full circle.
Anyways,
that was way too big of a build-up for Fandango versus R-Truth. But the match did happen. And Fandango did win because it's just what he does now. Because he was fighting R-Truth. And then we got Dusty Woes, baby. You liked this a lot more than I did until the end. So you tackle this one.
As a guy who pretends to know a lot about old school wrestling, Dusty Rhodes is one of my favorite guys who I pretend to know a whole lot about.
Yeah, that's funny because like you can tell, like not you in particular or anything like that, or me, but there's a lot of you guys don't know about Dusty. Well, what's the first thing I said when he came out? Everyone was cheering. I said, "Shit, I'm not gonna pretend like I like Dusty Rhodes or know about him." I said, "I'm not even gonna pretend like I would have liked him if I liked him." Like, there, he's just Dusty Rhodes. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh." Like an 8-year-old kid. Like if my cousins are over here watching and Ric Flair came out and they're just like, yeah, I'd be like, you don't know Ric Flair. It's like this. I don't know Dusty Rhodes. Yeah. Everyone's cheering. Doesn't mean me gonna cheer. I'm just like, all right, cool.
Exactly. And you know what? At the end of the day, Dusty Rhodes is still solid.
He's still Dusty Rhodes.
If you watch the stuff on YouTube of the hard times, baby. And actually, I think his best stuff was with Flair in Florida. Because that's what I do. Is I'm that guy who relates stuff back to stuff from the 80s.
There you go.
Because that's what Cody Rhodes said in his promo was, took him out of Florida and put him in polka dots.
That makes sense.
But he's a guy who always could talk. And he's a guy who always could get the emotion going. He doesn't, I mean, when you say he can talk, he doesn't speak with great.
That's why I laughed. Like, man, this guy can talk. I was like, is that a running joke? Because, baby, we got to go to college, baby. Got to colleges, baby.
Baby. I mean, you can't pick
as far as promos, yes, he can talk. But just during the promo, he said, man, this guy can talk. And I just took that funny. Because
I mean, he could cut a promo.
Yeah, there you go. Because he cannot talk. Let's not
if he was your customer service agent when you called up DirecTV, so how can I help you, baby?
You'd be like,
I'm just trying to get this. I'm just trying to get this Red Zone channel. Yeah. Well, baby, that would be like full payment of $18.22, baby. If you add it up, that is $36.92.
Yes, you're not having a good time.
You're like, no, can I talk to somebody?
For the record, the only bad thing about me not doing this segment is read my notes word for word. Just read them real quick.
Dusty Rhodes, baby. Talk about children, baby. Steph comes out. Says nothing has took between the sons. Tell Steph to go to hell.
Baby.
So, I'll explain that in a little more detail. He talks about how he has had those kids, and Steph comes out and says, between your two sons, which one gets the germ?
Goldie, old Cody Rhodes. The golden child, or the one that dresses in gold that you just
that you didn't pay attention to when you was a kid. And you tell Steph to go to hell and ask Steph about, well, when your daughters come down for breakfast, do you say, only you could have cornflakes, or y'all two can go back to bed? What?
Or does he give Frosted Flakes to one of them and the other two get cornflakes? That's the real question.
Is Stephanie McMahon
comes in and goes, are you kidding me, Stephanie? Well, do we have cornflakes?
Cornflakes? You're going to give Frosted Flakes to a B+ child at best?
The Levesque household needs a reality show. Screw Total Divas.
It's Levesque, but it's called Levesque, and it's stuck to our head.
Paul Levesque.
Oh man, it was great. And then the Shield comes down, and the Big Show comes down, and the Big Show's still real sad because Drake just got his emotions going, and Big Show got dumped. Big Show's that guy who sits there and when he can't sleep at night, hops on Instagram, and he knows his ex-girlfriend's Instagram account by heart, but he's not following her because he's moved on.
No,
he hops on there and he looks at the picture. He never likes him, never comments on him, but he looks and sees her with a new man. And he goes, "He's not 7 feet tall like me." You know, well, what if things would have came out differently? That's what the Big Show is channeling right there. And you know
he's
what?
like that poor girl that saw Jenna Rose's sick jeans, and she couldn't have those jeans.
Oh yeah, and wasn't involved with a friend. Yeah.
No, she wasn't even in the music video.
Yeah,
poor girl. That's the Big Show.
Taylor Swift teardrops my guitar.
And then he's forced to do stuff he doesn't want to.
He punches Dusty Rhodes in the face. And Dusty Rhodes.
No one
can say Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes. that sounds like you're saying it with a lisp.
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes gets carried out in the ring.
Dusty Rhodes. That's not right.
Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
This could be an hour long.
Oh, absolutely. He got knocked the fuck out. Big Show catches it.
And Big Show's sorry. And lays him down.
It was like Titanic. It wasn't like that. I just pictured the song. It was nothing like Titanic.
There's nothing I feel.
It was beautiful. But
yes, check it out. Next up, we have the Total Divas segment of the show, where Layla, Oksana, and Alicia Fox fought the Funkadactyls and Brie, and they had to, the House for Divas cast wasn't out on Sunday. They're all watching the show backstage.
Yeah. Besides
Brie and Natalya, and Naomi, I guess. Mm-hmm. But they had a 6 diva thing, and Brie's still a heel, but not a heel.
Yeah, she's she still comes out and does the loser to all the fans, but she's on the team of faces, so it's like.
But she tags in like a heel, but beats a heel. I don't get it. Brie Bella, you know what you are?
Daniel Bryan's girlfriend.
And because of that, because I like Daniel Bryan, you are awesome. Once I found out she was dating Daniel Bryan,
you liked her.
Subconsciously, I'm just like, you know what? Maybe she does wrestle better than a lot of these other divas. Look at the psychology. Because, you think, like,
here we go. Well, Daniel Bryan's got to be teaching her something.
Yeah, exactly.
So you look for a little.
And then you watch Total Divas. He doesn't teach her anything. He sits there and plays with
the dogs.
Yeah. And lays down and cracks jokes and shakes her head when she's hungover.
Absolutely. AJ and Natalya were on commentary. Natalya's mic didn't work, and they found a way to blame that on AJ. So, all right.
And AJ was able to somehow.
She went with it.
Oh my! Dude, AJ might be the best women wrestler in the last 10 years since Trish in her prime.
Well, Lita.
Could Lita talk like her though? But Lita could do backflips.
Yeah, Lita was sick.
Okay, since Lita.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I feel like Michelle McCool's most ultimate diva of all time.
She's so cool.
Got so much heat. Anyway, we're getting talked off on tangents. We're killing time till Grand Theft Auto comes out here. No, we're not. Are we? No, we're just trying to tell a good story about what happened on the show. Brie gets the pin. Does that make her the number 3 contender?
Let's hope so.
Are they going to roll? I don't know what they're going to do. The pay-per-view's in 3 weeks.
Let's do it. Then we got.
Is AJ going to be on the next series of Total Divas? I heard it's a rumor.
Maybe.
Because this is a Colby rumor, of course.
Oh,
Colby's been telling me. Because he's the most in-touch person with TMZ and the random TMZ happenings of the world.
Mm-hmm.
That Layla was voted in the top 10 hottest girls on television.
Layla. And
AJ, she was the highest diva, and AJ was like 22nd. And they were higher than like the Bellas were.
All right.
So, you think they're going to capitalize on that? The fact that they have some draw to them? Yes. Awesome. Let's go.
Absolutely. Damian Sandow versus RVD. Obviously, you have one Money in the Bank winner that does stuff and one that loses all the time. This is the one that loses all the time. So RVD gets the win with the 5-star frog splash, and then Damian Sandow does the thing where he says, and still, the Money in the Bank and future world champion, Damian Sandow. And RVD's just like, bro.
RVD's just like, I cashed in.
Bro, I feel you, bro. I feel you, bro. I'm like, he feels him, bro.
Yeah.
So he gets the win because that's just the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Randy Orton and The Miz in Cleveland, and I said, this has to happen. He's the hometown guy. People are going to be behind him. They capitalize on the fact that Miz's family was front row. Moment of silence for Miz's dad. Ooh, he's an original gangster. But they come out. So Miz is doing the thing. He's getting the crowd pumped up. He's from Cleveland. They're making sure everyone knows he's from Cleveland. He's talking to his
wearing
parents.
Browns tights.
He's talking to his parents ringside, and then all of a sudden, boom! Orton comes out, and knocks him over. They just start right there. Orton's showing the aggressive side that Triple H wanted to see from him. He's throwing him all around. He's doing all sorts of stuff. He ends up going into the crowd, so like right in front of his mom and dad, and just wailing on him. Hits a DDT from the whatever rail thing onto the ground. Then he takes him back in the ring, gets a chair, puts the chair on his face. Looks like he's going to do a stomp. Then that's not reckless enough. Goes over to the ring and does the running, boom, knee onto it. Everyone's just freaking out. Everyone feels bad for the Miz. His mom is just selling up a storm. Shout out to Mama Miz. And yeah, that was it. Just beat him up in front of the fam. It got what it needed to do. You found the guy that was going to be over, because obviously you can't do it to Daniel Bryan, because that doesn't make any sense. You can't just beat the shit out of him.
Dolph. I mean, you picked a guy. I mean, I feel like most places you find
Miz is realistically in a higher spot than Dolph right now.
Yeah,
but
especially they're both kind of close to their hometown.
Yeah, but they made a bigger deal of it because Dolph's from Hollywood. They're not going to say it. So Miz was the perfect guy to do this to. His parents are there. Got the point across. Orton's reckless. He's like looking at the parents, doing his thing. Basically trying to, harness the inner Orton that Triple H was talking about. It did good things. It did good things. He was just kicking some ass is what it was.
Mean guy.
He is. He's a very mean guy.
Someday he'll get heat, right?
No, because everyone loves him too much. He's like 10, 11 years in, and when you're realistically as good as he is all the way around, it's hard. It's hard.
It is super tough.
It's not going to be easy. People still cheer Triple H to this point, so there's no hope. It's just like, whatever. The people that are young enough that are going to hate him will hate him. The people that are smart enough to figure it out are going to still like him because it's good for what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then we got Paul Heyman come out in wheelchair with Ryback. Basically goes on to say that he is the best in the world since he pinned the best in the world, CM Punk. It'll go down in the record books that he defeated CM Punk. He gave credit. He's like, hey, CM Punk beat the living hell out of me. Gave me one of the worst beatings of my life. And then he gave all the credit. He's like, but I ended up winning thanks to Ryback. Ryback, I hate bullies. And I said, yes, here we go. And he's CM Punk, you're a bully. Paul, as long as I'm around, he'll never touch you again.
And Archibald Peck from Friday Night SmackDown. Sorry, R.D. Evans. Robert Evans comes out from SmackDown and beats him up. Dresses the marching band leader.
Didn't happen.
No.
Could have happened.
One day.
Didn't happen. Unfortunately for everyone, did not happen.
Yeah, I'm sure there's someone that has one of those YouTube, like, where they play WWE 14 and record it and have like a little YouTube thing where they have shows. Those exist.
Huh?
Like, you know how we play WWE 14, like Universe mode?
13.
13, yeah.
2K14 coming out soon. Buy that.
Buy that. Plug. People play that, right? But they play it with created characters and put in and do their own storylines and things.
Guys, don't do that anymore. Don't. It's not cute. I don't want to be like Mean Girls here, but just don't. Just no. Just no.
There's these guys who do it. There's these guys who apparently do it, and they're talking about on Reddit how WWE's paying them now to do a 30-minute or hour-long show every Monday that they're going to put on their channel.
On WWE's channel.
Yeah, featuring anybody from WWE's past besides Benoit. Specifically stated in their contract, never feature Chris Benoit or mention it.
Does Tight Team 22 have anything to do with this?
No.
Then this is fucking stupid.
Tight 22. I feel like you're still watching at this point.
What up, Buck?
I don't know if you're loyal to us as people or as YouTubers. Or,
either way.
But either way,
we want you to know that you come up in our daily lives a whole lot.
We
respect and support you.
You and Will Ferrell, number one.
You two have been down with the Brown for life. Black Power, right? Will Ferrell, number one.
You know what? Me and Tighty 22, EDP 445, and Marco Rose are going to start the Nation of Domination.
May as well.
Take that, Supper Club.
I'm not even concerned about that because EDP probably doesn't even know what the fuck you guys are doing. He's not going to agree to that shit.
Dude, he went for some fried chicken, man.
Hey, I don't know.
Actually, his YouTube money, man.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get paid last month. Well, I'll send him $20 so you can make that nice ass Italian dish. Did you see that video?
No.
Where EDP 445, Eat That Pussy 445, put out a video talking about how pissed he was that he didn't get a YouTube payment. He had to have over 100 to get paid for YouTube. We don't get paid for YouTube at all. If you're over 100, they don't pay you out for that month. And he was at $99.95. Yeah, that's the face he made too.
No.
And he's talking about he's like, I was gonna make this nice ass Italian dish.
I'll let him know.
We believe. Shout out to him.
I'll let him know. Shout out to him.
He can be the Rock version of Nation Domination, where he shows up every now and again, but in the end we'll end up replacing him because he's too big for us.
That's true. EDP is much bigger than life itself.
Yeah. Oh man, we're talking, man.
Hey. You've been talking and talking.
I've been talking. I've been off for about a month.
Yeah, you guys know my video is like 8 minutes.
Yeah,
don't blame me.
I'm back. I gotta get
don't blame me.
Worth of thoughts out right now. This is therapeutic, man. My therapist said, "Have you been doing a YouTube video?" No, I haven't done that for a while. Well, that's why you've been stressed out, man. You got a place to voice your opinions.
That makes sense.
I'm like, makes sense, dog. Anyway, the next thing. Can I talk about the next thing?
Triple threat #1 contender tag team match.
We got the PTPers, right?
Nope.
We got 3MB, right?
Hell no.
We got the Edgeheads.
They don't exist anymore.
They actually fought at the house show.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, trivia. No, they fought against each other.
Oh.
Yeah. So those guys are out of the picture altogether.
They're done.
So you had Tons of Funk,
the
Usos, and the anti-Americans, We the People, the Real Americans.
Real Americans. Love them.
They were solid. Antonio Cesaro, he said, you know what, Jack Swagger, I feel like you have much more untapped potential. And Swagger's just like, no one's ever told me that.
So let's
No one's ever said, hey, Jack, we should do something like this. Or, hey, Jack, do whatever the hell you want, and I'll pick up. I'll take your lead. And it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a good time.
They were rolling, and they beat Tons of Funk.
But they didn't beat the Usos.
They did not beat the Usos. Usos actually have they finish matches super well.
Oh yeah,
I'll give them credit for that.
No, they work together well. They have some cool finishes where it'll be like a sneak tag, and they don't know the other guy doesn't know what's going on, and this dude will hit. It's cool.
Yeah, random tag, or the guy gets hit, and all of a sudden, boom, jumping splash.
Yeah. So
will they beat the Shield at Battleground?
No chance. I put the chance at 0. Literally 0.
Zero. Seth Rollins could get caught for taking steroids, and
Roman Reigns would win the handicap match.
And then Dean Ambrose would carry it via the Freebird rule.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of Roman Reigns, he was wrestling in the main event. Shout out to him versus Daniel Bryan. Before the match starts, Randy Orton comes out, and he was just gonna chill. He was talking to Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose was like,
you know what I think he was telling them?
Where that strip club at? You open on Seth Rollins, you go down that street, you go left. But where I work out, I do CrossFit, but across the street, bitches get wild. Dean Ambrose was like, shit, man, me too. Yeah. And
here's what I really think they were talking about. There was no one else in the other corner. I think Randy Orton walked up to him and said, why are you guys in this side? If you're up on that side, the camera will see you, and you'll be on there, and you'll be able to have an effect on people watching at home. Because, I mean, if they're on the other side, you don't see Seth Rollins' facial expressions. You only hear him yell. Mm-hmm. You see him smacking it, and it has more effect to it, and it shows more the unity thing.
Makes sense.
Randy Orton's good for business.
Absolutely.
But even better for business is my boy, D. Bryan.
That's not correct.
It is correct.
That's not even close to correct.
Just think about how this show went.
Oh, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So Orton comes out before he's about to tap out. Orton interferes, causes the DQ. They beat up on Bryan for a while. I'm pretty sure I don't think Orton hit an RKO.
No, they were going to set him up to do the whole stomp on his head thing.
But yeah, they beat him up for a while. They legitimately did beat him up for a while. It's not like
yeah.
And then
Daniel
Bryan beats up everybody.
No, this was before.
No,
he beats up before, and they get.
That's what I'm saying. Daniel Bryan beats up everybody. Then he gets Orton beat up, and then the Shield come and save. And then after that, they get him down.
Beats the crap
and then they get the chair on his head. And as they're about to do the thing, here comes the cavalry of some of the most inconsequential people I've ever seen in my entire life. They send out the big stars of Titus O'Neil, Darren Young, Dolph Ziggler, how good he's been doing lately. Kofi Kingston, by God, Kofi, you lost to Curtis Axel.
Well, you missed the Kingston.
Oh, I mean, they sent out the bangers, like R-Truth. Oh, you knew business was about to pick up. Like Shield and Orton, like Zack Ryder.
Orton actually bailed.
I'm out of here.
Orton's a smart enough guy. He's like, you know what? I could beat all these guys 3-on-1,
but I don't want to.
But I can't beat all these guys 19-on-4.
No,
he said, I'm out.
He's a smart guy.
And then the numbers finally caught up to the Shield. That's what the storyline's gonna be. The Shield finally get outplayed with the numbers game, and Daniel Bryan stands triumphant in the ring on the shoulders of PTP. Who, if you know anything about PTP, Darren Young's like 6 foot flat. Pasadena's 6'6".
That is not very easy.
Daniel Bryan's sitting there like this, and you know what? It was still cool.
We're in the age of Super Daniel Bryan. Super Daniel Bryan. As quoted by you guys, not me. I'm just taking your word for it. I'm not saying that. I'm not at all.
Here's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying that you guys told me, so I agree with you. It is Super Daniel Bryan. And this segment annoyed the shit out of me. I've said it then, I'll say it now. I'm not afraid to say it. It annoyed the shit out of me. It was Cena-esque, except they can't lift Cena because he's so goddamn big.
Yeah.
It was just like... It's like...
It doesn't make sense.
They don't need to do this.
Yeah.
The crowd already likes Daniel Bryan. This is one of those things you do where it's like me. So it came across as, look, this is the guy. You love him. And they're like, we know. You don't have to tell us. Oh, come on. And I'm like, oh my God. Literally, I was like, this is so stupid. I absolutely hated it. It was too forced. It's like the thing where you're trying to get cheers, but he's already getting cheers, so it comes across as like, we get it, we know. That's cool, the crowd likes him. You don't have to be like, it's like if the crowd likes you so much, why are you trying to like look like you're getting them to like cheer for him, cheer for me? It's like, we already are. So it just end up looking ridiculous.
I mean, it's one of those things, I mean, you actually had a really good point about this, and I realize it now. We were talking about it off camera, because we talk off camera.
It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy, right?
We have words.
Crazy, right? He goes, I'm like, the entire crowd was just going nuts. Because the entire crowd behind, they panned out, and they showed the second goal.
Absolutely. That's part of my point, is it's like they already are freaking out. Don't look to think. It was just, it seemed too forced to me. It's like one of those things where it still would have been annoying, but if they were doing it with a guy that wasn't getting over, and it's like, oh, okay, like you have the support of all these guys, sweet, but everyone's already going nuts.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that was my problem.
For the booking of him, he hit his finisher and pins Orton. Fast count. Mm-hmm. But the fast count, Orton didn't move after 3 on the fast count.
No, he was dead to rights.
Dead to rights. But was that because kayfabe for him, obviously? Was that because he already had heard the 3rd count, so he didn't feel the need to move?
Absolutely.
Or was he out cold? There we go. And there we have the rationale process. Mm-hmm. But if Daniel Bryan would have got beat up or told oh man, if the storyline was still we don't believe in you, you're not our guy, it doesn't make sense. The part where this makes sense is where he's Triple H is trying to pick a face in WWE, and 18 people come out and they lift him up, and it's like them saying this is our guy, because there's been repercussions if you interfere with stuff across Triple H, and they made a conscious effort to do that. So once again, it's almost the part that Daniel Bryan is where he is. It's almost like he's above it. Where there's times where Cena was below things that they were doing and it didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Daniel Bryan is past that range. Daniel Bryan could go out and without a single person there, just start going like this, and the crowd goes wild. He's at that level, and it's crazy he's at that level. And this segment right here was to get other people closer to him, because they realized at Night of Champions, when they had no faces really go over, that they don't really have the next. They don't really have they pulled the rug out of Dolph for some reason. I have no idea why. I feel like they're doing that just to piss us off, the internet world. And it's not working because you guys are starting to turn on Dolph. You guys. Blind statements, accusations, you guys. You the people. You guys are all oh man. So they're trying to get people to associate other guys with Daniel Bryan. It's something they didn't do with Punk. And they were, besides really, the only people they ever tied to Punk were Ryder and Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
And come January, February, when they're building WrestleMania and Punk was already there, they were trying to find people that be up there with Bryan and Punk.
Mm-hmm.
With Bryan and Ryder, because they were stuck. They had guys who were already up there, like the Cenas and the Ortons of the world, who were still face at the time and still active. But you didn't have anyone really climbing up because there was nothing pulling them up besides Punk pulling two guys up. This was them trying to latch the PTP's holding them up there because they're in the next in line. They're going to win the belt of Survivor Series.
It's possible.
Very possible. They didn't pull the trigger on the last show because the Shield is still needed for their major storyline.
Correct.
Makes sense. Dolph Ziggler, maybe they're going to do something later. Maybe they're just trying to see how he responds.
Mm-hmm.
Zack Ryder, just there to be there. A lot of the guys are just there to be there to have the numbers. And just be members of the WWE. But it all ties back to one man, Triple H.
I like him. Him I do like.
But somehow it does. Somehow the story is not going to be these guys support Daniel Bryan. It's going to be these guys think know what's best for business. They're part of the business. They think they can pick their guy. I pick their guy. They don't know better than me.
It's true.
Yeah.
Triple H is God.
Triple H is. But the part that I do not like is when Daniel Bryan was here and this storyline was here and he could have done it, you guys freaked out. He should be doing stuff like this. Oh my gosh. They need to push him, man. They need to give him the Austin push. If you let this guy go, he'll carry the company.
Ooh, time out.
The Austin.
This is getting to the point where you're going to go on the thing that I told you to talk about because you made the thing. So this is where I'm going to take this. I'm going to say, I didn't like this main event segment. Was it because Randy Orton got made a fool of? Maybe. Was it because that I honestly think that it was trying to push? It was trying to get over at a guy that's super over? Absolutely. Seemed forced to me. That's my opinion.
It's like if I were to tell you guys that Kanye West's album is good.
Yeah, it's like
Drake's new album is good.
No, it'd be if you overly kept telling us.
You're right.
So it's like if Kanye West won the Grammy, and then for the next 2 weeks you kept every day you made a video talking about how good it was.
And how not only that, but like. And not only are you
telling it to more love. Not only are you just telling it to random people, you're telling it to the people that voted for him.
Yeah.
Because they already like Daniel Bryan. They were cheering already.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this title and hope Randy gets it soon. And now I'm going to let him address a thing that is personal to his heart, and that is the YWC, IWC, somewhat seemingly turning on Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan becoming now more of a mainstream guy than an internet guy, which seems to happen a lot. But this is the guy we never thought it would happen to. So he made a good point about this earlier, so I'll let him have this.
I haven't been on, but I've been inside the loop. I've been my ears been working, my eyes been working. I've been listening and hearing of what's going on. 2 ears, 2 nose, 1 mouth. Wait, no, 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 1 nose. No horns. Anyway, I'm not good with analogies at this moment because right now what are you guys doing? What? Like you guys are you guys just following people to follow them? Like, are you guys sitting there like, oh, well, the guys I watch are saying that the guys that I watch are saying for long enough Randy Orton's been overlooked. Now that he's running as a heel, he's doing so well that he needs to be the guy. It's not he's the foil of Daniel Bryan on the way up through. He outperformed him. I don't know where you guys got these sort of things. Daniel Bryan is the most over guy since CM Punk at Money in the Bank 2011. Most over full-time guy because The Rock came back and fought in Miami, and that was the biggest thing in wrestling of the past 5 years. But the fact that you guys turned on Punk, I remember that, and I remember thinking to myself, like trying to rationalize and justify, like, okay, well, yeah, Punk's kind of been switching around a little bit, and he's changed, man. He's changed. He didn't really change. He still did the same stuff. He still was the same sarcastic jerk. It was just stuff was tiny bit different, and he was above stuff like this scenario. But not only that, Daniel Bryan's popular now, guys. What's up with that? What you guys don't like him now? I mean, you don't like him because people out there are wearing the gray respect the beard shirts. You guys are sitting there like, man. You guys are mad that the soccer mom who brought her 2 kids to the show, who watch every single week and love Daniel Bryan, is doing the Yes Channel along with them. Because he's not our guy anymore. Like, you can look back into the archives. Money in the Bank 2011, we weren't a show yet. But I picked Daniel Bryan our first show, SummerSlam 2011, to beat Wade Barrett. And I said I picked him to win Money in the Bank, which I did. It is on paper. Just because I like the guy. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. There's not a horse in the race for me. Like, there's not like a clear cut winner like there was Alberto Del Rio that year. Everyone knew Del Rio was going to win. We all picked Del Rio. The mistake then was like, oh, who's going to win? And it was Daniel Bryan. And he continued to somehow get more underground and hipster stuff, even though he was starting to get the World Heavyweight Championship and he's in these great feuds with Mark Henry. But none of you guys are like, oh, yeah. And he starts doing the yes chants. And then, oh, cool, he's doing that as a heel, so let's do it with him. And then they turn him. When they finally turn him, he finally starts doing the yeses along with them. You guys are mad that people are cheering along with it. You're mad that he's over. You're mad that there's new Cena. Here's the deal, guys. Well, part of the stuff that you guys said you hated about Cena. Think about that. Oh, his character's always the same. Daniel Bryan's character has not changed. Oh, he's just out there pandering for the, he just does the same stuff over and over again. Daniel Bryan's shtick is that he likes wrestling more than he likes entertaining. And that's been his thing. And that is it. That's what he's been doing for the past 6 months. I want to say his entire career has been based around the fact that he likes wrestling more than entertaining people. He thinks he can use wrestling to entertain people as opposed to Chris standing there and asking for cheers. He can just wrestle and get the cheers. And that's been his character, really, since, I want to say, 2001. Going there. I've watched some of his indie stuff. His character has not changed since, really, he was the American Dragon. And he's still the American Dragon. And that's what he is. And somehow, it's not, you guys won't say he's stale. But was Cena ever really stale? Okay, there's a couple times where Cena was stale. He was fighting some bad guys, all that stuff. I understand that. But you always talk, oh man, there's be the next big guy. They don't make anybody. They don't give anybody the chance to go. Daniel Bryan's main event in the last 3 pay-per-views. Last match on the card, last 3 pay-per-views. Did Punk, I'll ask you this question. Punk never did that.
No, he main evented.
Never did 3 in a row.
No, he main evented Money in the Bank and then SummerSlam. But then after SummerSlam, it was the June one, which was Vengeance that year.
Wait, no, SummerSlam was in July. Sorry. August was.
June, July, August, that was SummerSlam with Cena.
Yeah.
August, September. I'm thinking of when he wanted Money in the Bank the first time.
Yeah.
Because then after that, he lost it, and it wasn't again until he was the main event of TLC, but Cena was on the card.
Yeah. He actually wasn't he the main event of Night of Champions that year too, finally fighting Triple H? Mm-hmm. But there was gaps to it. There wasn't consecutive.
And then, so I guess technically he had 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Because it was Money in the Bank. But as WWE champion, he never.
Yeah. Well, Daniel Bryan wasn't. He was not for the title. Was it 3 in a row?
No, because Triple H wasn't for anything. Because it was Cena, Triple H. Yeah. And then he did the thing where he was tagging with Triple H or whatever.
Yeah.
And then then his title reign, he was the main event twice.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
So he was never given the ball and said, "Hey, run with it." And Daniel Bryan's been given the ball, and they're saying, "Run with it." He's main evented the last 2 pay-per-views against Randy Orton, who, by and large, is the second biggest guy who's been made the past 10 years. Mm-hmm. In terms of guys I'm going to put him even with Punk. In Orton's prime, he was as big as Punk was, as Punk, not as prime, but consistency-wise. It makes sense.
With ease.
Yeah. Either way, you can't say that anyone else is in the top 3. Daniel Bryan fights Cena. Then he fights Orton. Then he fights Orton again. And guess what? Newsflash, guys. He's going to fight Orton again if he doesn't fight Triple H at the next pay-per-view Battleground. After that Survivor Series. Do you guys really think the number one face in their company right now is going to get pushed down the cart at their Big Four Survivor Series when they're building up a heel stable that is conspiring against him? Do you guys really think that? Do you guys really think that after that, after Survivor Series, where he can beat Randy Orton clean for the first time, like fully clean, and then go into a match at TLC for the belt? There's what, 5 in a row? And then if he doesn't win, he's going to be in the Rumble. The Rumble will be the last thing on the card that year, probably 6. So, if you guys are off the Daniel Bryan bandwagon, I implore you to come back on. Don't fall victim to following whatever stuff, but don't follow the stream just to follow the stream when the river's right there.
It's just funny how everyone's looking for the next big guy.
And you have it.
And not only do they have the next big guy,
it's your guy.
It's the guy they've been. It's almost like everyone loves Daniel Bryan so much that they're like questioning themselves. Like, well, wait, I like him, but I didn't think he'd ever get this big, so that must mean I don't like him anymore.
Yeah.
What? You guys don't mean a goddamn sense.
It happens, and I don't blame you guys. It happens all the time. It's happened to me like 2 or 3 times. I listened to Drake's mixtape before his first album came out. And his first album wasn't super big, so I was like, oh yeah, that's tight. He's talking to the Young Money stuff, and I'm just like, man, what's Drake doing? Man, what's Drake doing? But luckily I caught myself and realized that Take Care was going to be the best sad Winter Day album of all time, and I hopped back on the bandwagon. And now here we are. Nothing Was the Same comes out next Tuesday. Buy that in stores. And I'm back on the bandwagon. Do y'all know why? Because there's a reason why stuff gets popular. And there's a reason why we like stuff in the first place before it gets popular. It's just because we seek out what we think we're going to like. And if you're one of those people who like stuff just people don't like, if you're that guy sitting there right now and you're just like, man, Bray Wyatt should get the WWE Championship. Oh man, he's the best. They haven't had a character like him in years. He's around with it. You need to sit back and think about, like, what are you watching wrestling for? Are you watching wrestling to complain about what's happening? I mean, I will say this. I bought Night of Champions. It sucked. The card and a lot of the stuff sucked behind it. But
I feel like you're the only person that has the right to complain because you bought it.
Not only did I buy it, I didn't split the cost with anyone else. I bought it myself. I said, you know what? The Seahawks are playing. I'll buy it at home. I said, hey, you can come over if you want. And he's like, nah, I got a little cousin coming over. And he was going to stream it, whatever. And you know what? As much as I don't regret it, at some point there has to be a metric behind. They use metrics to decide, like, if what they're doing is working or not. You know what? At the end of the day, it is a business. It's not about what we sit here and complain about. They don't get money off YouTube. We don't have ads on our YouTube. They don't get a split off of our thing of us reviewing it. They get a cut when I buy a Daniel Bryan t-shirt. They get the majority of my $55 when I buy a $55 pay-per-view. They sit there and they get hits when people hop on their website and click on an ad. Or even when they hop on the website, they get paid by the traffic of people seeing that. You know what? And that, at the end of the day, that's what they're in business for. And if that's what's stopping you from being a Daniel Bryan fan, you've missed out on the wrong boat. Just hop back on. You don't gotta be like the Schlag Daddy because he doesn't like Daniel Bryan. He's a Randy Orton guy. He's running with that. Justin's like that too. You don't have to be like that if that's not what you believe. And if you don't have anything you believe in, maybe you should just step away. Obviously keep watching us, but if you have to stop watching us and form your own opinions, do that. Realize why you started watching wrestling and why you keep watching wrestling. And don't sit there and be like, Daniel Bryan, oh man, he was my guy, but I don't get it right now. I don't know. I mean, even Justin can say stuff like this. He wasn't really the biggest Daniel Bryan guy.
It's true. I liked him when he was the funny guy with the counselor.
Yeah.
That was my Daniel Bryan.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But that wasn't the main of. I mean, that wasn't even for really all that much. It was like, oh, cool. The middle of the show is funny now. And then everywhere he's gone, in my opinion, he's made that part better. And now here's in the main event. The product looks better. Night of Champions was dead, but that might have been Detroit's arena. That might have been the fact that the rest of the card sucked. But the match itself that match right there saved the fact that I didn't break my phone in half after calling WWE and demanding a refund. I was this close. Like, if that match would have been some crap, whatever. And the fact that they gave us 25 minutes of two of the biggest guys in wrestling today wrestling each other was great. Punk's storyline's kind of getting dried out. I'll admit that. But Punk's storylines kind of fall into the same thing as what we're talking about Daniel Bryan. Sometimes you have guys. I mean, Stone Cold, if he would have done the same thing where guys were carrying him, or they did the same thing with Mankind, and it kind of felt forced. It made Mankind feel like not a big deal, like he needed those guys to get it. Because I'm talking about when Mankind first won the championship, DX carried him on his shoulder. But Mankind wasn't the guy then, so no one complained, and it made sense and actually helped Mankind out because he was here. And it helps him get to the max of where that storyline was. And Bryan's here. He's past it. You don't think that he beat John Cena clean at SummerSlam. At that point, you crossed it. Before that, he crossed it. He was the guy. And you know what? Maybe it's time that you guys buy in. Maybe it's time that you guys watch a 50-minute video. And if you guys are watching at this point, I'm guessing you are, because why would you turn it off mid-rant? If you guys either turned it off before I went off, or you guys are still listening. And because of that, thank you. Shout out to you. Hopefully you guys find Jesus, find the light, find the man chanting yes. I'm wearing this shirt out of pure irony. I do not think Tebow should go anywhere near the NFL. And not the Jaguars. I've been through enough. And it's not like Tebow is good and I'm being a hipster. He sucks. It's not, the media loves Tebow. Tebow's not a good NFL quarterback. Daniel Bryan is a good wrestler. Daniel Bryan could draw money. This is the test. If Daniel Bryan was wrestling near you, at what distance would you not go? If Santino was 50 miles down the road, I want to go. If I found out that he was wrestling and it was the only thing involved, there was no cost involved, it was just pure time, I'd probably go 500 miles. I'd go from Salt Lake City to Vegas, Salt Lake City to Denver. Really, I might even go to Phoenix. Think about that. Think about you guys who are on the East Coast who are right there, and if you had the opportunity to do this stuff, what's going to get you through the door? What's going to get you to turn on a Raw when there's a good Monday Night Football game and not this Steelers against Bengals stuff and not next week's Broncos against Raiders? Well, what if last night's Seahawks against Niners game was on Monday Night Football? What are you going to watch? And at the end of the day, what will be the difference that would push you guys through it? And let's be honest, the guy who could do that right now is Daniel Bryan. Don't try to pull this. Are you guys just trying to pull the rug out from underneath him because no one else is anymore? Is it because you guys kind of want a martyr? That kind of just you guys want to be different? Like when they're pulling the rug out from Dolph Ziggler, you guys sitting there just let him run with it, man. Just let him run with it. Right now, Daniel Bryan is running with it. He's running. Look at this form right here. This is solid running form. He's running. Why stop it? Why not let me see how far this will carry? Is there a better two guys in WWE right now to be running side by side than Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton? That's why I don't get mad when he sits here and talks about how awesome Orton is. Orton's awesome. I'm just a Daniel Bryan guy. And I have been. And I will be. It's just that simple.